Well, a lot to discuss about last night's Mets debacle, disaster in Atlanta, and we've seen that game a million times, Mets fans. We've all seen it. We didn't expect to see it this year, but I mean, maybe you did because, like I said the other day, I will never stop thinking that those type of games, will happen in Atlanta. And listen, it's squarely on, I think, two people. I think it's on Alvarez clearly with the throw to second. Which what are you doing? What are you doing? And I think it's on Mendoza, who didn't exactly have a great game for a manager, right? I mean, listen, you can't have Young in this lineup anymore. There are a couple people on the Mets that don't belong in the major leagues. Period. And Alvarez, I'm sorry to say, is one of them. And I've been saying Alvarez shouldn't be in the major leagues now for 2 weeks. I feel better with Torrens back there. He basically puts up the same offensive numbers. He doesn't make the mistakes that Alvarez made. Alvarez changed a pitch that the pitcher called last night. Reed Garrett called for a fastball. Alvarez changed it to a slider, and that was the extra base hit down the line in the eighth inning that scored the 3 runs with 2 outs. I'm not going to get on Mendoza about leaving in Peterson because Peterson's been the best pitcher now for about a month. And he pitched another gem last night. It gave him 7 strong innings. And Reed Garrett was just about out of that jam, right? He came in, he gave up the single, and then he got the 2 outs. And then with 2 outs, they get the bases clearing double down the left field line, and the game is tied. And it's just another one in a long, long list of just disasters in Atlanta. And now the Mets, like I said over the weekend, it showed some deficiencies in this team. Last night again, Torrens has got to be the starter, and at least until Alvarez figures it out. We know he can be better, but I mean, that's a little league play in the 10th inning. You got the guy caught between the bases. You eat the ball, and you run directly at him. That's the play. Everybody knows it. They teach it to you in Little League. You run at the runner. You make him decide which way he's going to go. Alvarez throws from behind the plate, mind you, to second base, which takes how long to get there? And he's standing on third by the time the ball reaches second base. And then a sac fly, and the game's over. But, I mean, and listen, Young 0 for 4 again last night. Young can't be on this team. Why does Mendoza keep just penciling this guy in at DH? Your DH is supposed to be a good hitter. Young is hitting 148. 148. And day after day after day after day, he gets put into the DH spot. I don't even know who this guy is. And you got him hitting, he's your steady DH, your regular DH hitter. Hitting a $148. His OPS is 640. 640. As far as Peterson goes, he pitched a hell of a game, and it sucks for him because he got robbed of a win. Soto hit the home run early. Mets were looking good. They were up 4-0, 4-1. Alonso had 2 hits. And then the 8th inning rolled around, and he sent him out there. Like I said, I got no issue with Mendoza sending him out there in the 8th inning to start the 8th inning because he's been your best pitcher. He's been lights out. He just pitched a complete game shutout. Give him the 8th inning. Let him get a chance. I guess you could say that maybe he should have come out after the first base runner. He walked the guy, gave him a hit. You could say that, but was Reed Garrett going to get the extra? I don't know. And then even in the 10th inning, I mean, it's just so typical Mets Braves. The great play out in the outfield with the catch. The doubled up Soto and Soto in the 9th inning. Listen, he shouldn't be getting doubled up like that. You got to read that a little bit better. If it's not leaving the ballpark, he's got a chance to catch it. If you are halfway between first and second, and he misses that ball and it hits the wall and it rolls past him, you're scoring anyway. So the fact that Soto's already around second base there, I don't like it. I think you can't get doubled off in that situation. You can't get doubled off. But that's, again, that's another thing. I think the main thing here is Alvarez has got to figure it out, and he can't figure it out while sitting in this lineup. Alvarez again. Oh, he was 0 for 3 with a walk, a strikeout. He's hitting .235. He's got 3 home runs. The guy who's supposed to be 25 home run catcher, power, big bat in your lineup, best hitting catcher the Mets have had since Mike Piazza is just been terrible since coming off the injury. Terrible. So you got Alvarez needs to go down and figure it out. Young is not a major league ball player. I don't know who told Mendoza he is. I don't know who told Mendoza he should be the DH. But you got to do something about that. Young's got to go. Mauricio, another 0 for 4. Mauricio hitting 184 since being called up. He's got 2 home runs. Send him down. Mauricio, I'm not saying he's going to be a bad player. I'm not saying he should, blow it up. It's over with Mauricio. No. But send him down. Let him figure it out down there. Because right now the Mets have 2 guys who are hitting on the interstate in the lineup. And they got the DH is hitting 148. Mauricio's hitting 184. Your catcher's making mental mistakes all over the place. That cost you the game. Mets were out of that inning. That's a huge spot. If you get that runner that starts on second base, the ghost runner that starts on second base, if you get him out without scoring, that's a huge out in the game. Just like the catch out in the outfield was a huge out. And then the Mets not getting their run across, and you miss your chance to get the guy on second in the bottom of the 10th, and that's what happens. You lose 5-4. Another disaster in a long line of disasters in Atlanta. It's just a house of horrors. It's a complete house of horrors because even the Mets are clearly better than the Braves. Braves are still 12 games out or 13, whatever it is. Mets are clearly better. And last night happens. And none of us were surprised. Don't tell me you were surprised. Because if you're a Mets fan for anything longer than 5 years, you weren't surprised that last night happened. The only people that should be surprised that became Mets fans last year saw last year's thing at the end of the year and then saw this and was like, well, I don't know what happened. We were so good in Atlanta. The Mets are never good in Atlanta. And Mendoza's got to take some of the blame here. Stop with Young. Please. Jared Young does not belong in this lineup. Jared Young does not belong on this team. He does not belong in the major leagues. He's hitting $148 with 2 home runs and 3 RBIs, and he's your DH hitter day after day after day. And I've been saying for 2 weeks now, and people that I said it to were like, oh, I don't know, Turan, the pitchers love Alvarez, and I don't care who loves him. Pass balls all over the place. A complete mental collapse last night, throwing the ball to second base that let the winning run get to third with less than 2 outs. Doesn't hit. Alvarez never gets a big hit. Never. 0 for 3 last night. He'll get a base hit or every once in a while. It never gets a big hit. Changes the play, changes the pitch that the pitcher himself calls. And Reed Garrett seems to be blowing games that he seems to be at his worst in the worst possible times. It's not his fault yesterday. Listen, he came in with first and second, nobody out. It's not really hit. You can't blame that run on that on him. But he was so close to getting out of it, and the guy gets to double down the line. And Mauricio, he started 0 for 11 when he came up. Then he hit that home run. He had 2 home runs. He's nothing. He has done nothing since coming up. Maybe he needed a little more than 2 months after this injury before you brought him up to the major leagues. Because he's hitting 184, and your DH is hitting 148, and your catcher is an idiot. And a lot of people are blaming even Mendoza on top of those 3 things, for leaving Peterson in too long. And I'm giving him a pass on that. You can't lose a game 4-1 when you're 4-1 in the 8th inning. You can't lose that game. Good teams don't lose that game. Now you're 4 in a row you lost. 4 in a row. And tonight, you got Blackburn going back on the out of the bullpen. You got McGill, who now yesterday was announced is going to go on the IL. He's going to miss a month, which I'm not too worried about because you know what, McGill, I could do without seeing him anyway. But the Mets now are they're in shambles right now. The pitching staff is in shambles. Or one ace. A 1A is hurt with a hamstring because the first baseman can't throw to the pitcher at first in the spring training play. A 1B is down in the minor leagues making rehab starts, giving up 5 runs in 2 innings and hitting batters. Peterson pitched well. There's a good one. Clay Holmes, not good. It's just not. It's not what it was two weeks ago. I'll tell you that much. And the Phillies lost, luckily, to the Marlins. So the Mets are still 2.5 up. But they're 2 games up on the Phillies. They're 12 on the Braves. And you know what? That 12 is going to become 7 real fast. That was the game the Mets needed to win last night. You had your best pitcher or your hottest pitcher on the mound pitching. He pitched well, 7 innings, no 1 run. And then it just kind of all fell apart. And when it falls apart for the Mets, it falls apart. They can't get it back. It's like toothpaste coming out of the tube. You can't put it back in. When the Mets fall apart in Atlanta, they fall apart. It could have very easily been, okay, Reed Garrett gave up that hit. They came back. They tied it. Now let's get some runs in the next inning. No, what happens? They get a chance. The guy makes a great play out in the outfield. And then the Mets do bonehead stuff in the 10th inning. If they're not scoring in the top of the 10th, they do bonehead stuff in the bottom of the 10th, and they lose the game. That's the story of the entire existence that I have been around on this earth for the Mets and the Braves. Here and there, they'll win a big game. The Braves are 32-39. They were 31-38. I'm sorry, they were 31-39. The Mets are 45-27 coming into that game. You're not supposed to make tea. If you asked me which team was which, I would have told you it was the opposite. Without knowing. And now you got Blackburn on the mound tonight. He pitched well in his one start. Which I don't know what they pitched well. He pitched a brilliant game that game. 6-7 strikeouts, 6 innings, gave him every chance to win, sent him off to the bullpen. And he's been terrible in the bullpen. So I have no idea what to expect tonight. And you got Chris Sale going for the Braves, who is a high-end, top-of-the-line pitcher when he's at his best. Hasn't been great, but he has it in him to be great. Somehow the Mets are still 6-4 in their last 10 when they lost 4 in a row because they had that winning streak. They're 18-18. They're a 500 road team. They need to be better. They need to win these next 2 games against the Braves. It's not imperative that they win the 2 games, but you just for a psyche standpoint. And for crying out loud, get Young out of the damn lineup. You can't have your DH hitter, a guy that all he does is hit. Specialty hitting. All he does is hit. 184. Automatic out. Mets and Braves. Nothing's changed. Nothing has changed. And I don't think it ever will, to be honest with you. I don't think it ever will. So Mendoza, listen, I like Mendoza. It's good to have a manager like this. He's going to be even keel. He's going to keep things calm. He's going to, just another game. But if you're a Mets fan and you've been a Mets fan for any length of time, you see this thing unraveling. Yeah. We're 17 over 500. Yeah. We're in first place. Yeah, we got one of the best records in baseball. Yeah, we're 6-4 in these 10 games. But over these 10 games, you see it unraveling. And if you've been here before, when it unravels for the Mets, it unravels fast. So they need to put a stopper to it. They need to stop it tonight. Blackburn is the guy. Let's hope he's the guy. Alvarez, listen, I don't want to see Alvarez again for a couple days. I want him to go to the minors and figure it out, which I don't think they're going to do. I don't want to see Alvarez in the lineup for a couple days because that was a little league play. A little league play. Mental mistakes happen. I get it. Not little league plays. You got the guy in between the bases. You run at him. Everybody knows that. Everybody. Except Alvarez. The one guy we needed to know it didn't know it. And I'm sick of it. And he doesn't hit, and he never hits. He never hits this year. I've been telling you for 2 weeks. Now everybody's all over it. I've been telling you for 2 weeks that I'd rather see Terens in the lineup. Mets lose 5-4. Mets, Braves tonight. Blackburn, Sale. Crying out loud, can we get a win? Got to get these next 2 games. I listen, because like I said, when it unravels for the Mets, it unravels fast. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe. Every little bit helps. We want to thank Todd for giving us a good review. Love it. Love all our reviews. We'll read it. We'll read them online here. We'll read them wherever. We love seeing them. If you don't like us, leave us a review so we know we can do better to get you to like us. You can find us anywhere you get your podcast. Anywhere you get your podcast. You can find us on YouTube. And always, always, always at LockedUpSports.net. LockedUpSports.net. Braves 5, Mets 4. Game 2 of the series tonight, 7 o'clock. We'll be back with also some NBA Finals coverage and a recap of the Stanley Cup Finals. Congratulations to the Florida Panthers. 2 in a row. From the Brian Gunzel Studios, I'm Bob Walters. See ya.